Hey, this is FU Stigma with Dr. Lott, and this video is going to be about self-care. Self-care is somewhat of a buzzword these days. You hear about self-care this and self-care that, but what does that mean? Like, we say, oh, for self-care, I'm gonna go and get my nails done, or I'm gonna, go to the spa, and that's all great. But I really wanna talk about what self-care looks like for counselors and what it really means to practice intentional self-care. So I have 5 tips for you, and 5 pieces of knowledge for you to understand how you can incorporate self-care into your life and what it really means and the purpose of self-care. The first one is self-care should be something that is enjoyable. It is not a chore. It is not something like, oh my God, I have to do this. Oh, I gotta make sure I do this week. It shouldn't feel like that. It shouldn't feel like something that is hard. It shouldn't feel like something that brings anxiety or stress. It should be something that you actually look forward to, and it should be something that you want to do. So your self-care is very unique to who you are and your personality, your interests, and your hobbies and what feels good to you. So don't allow someone else to assign self-care onto you. That's something that is personal to you that you should do. The second tip is something that a lot of people don't realize is that self-care should be intentional. And what I mean by that is it should be something that you plan to do, that you know you're going to do, and it is with the intent to relieve stress. So we don't just do self-care just to say we did it. It needs to have an intentional purpose behind it. Why am I doing this? What am I going to get out of doing this exact activity? If you notice that when you do engage in self-care, it isn't helpful, then change the self-care. You can change the plan. You don't have to change the goal, you just change the plan. So it should be something that's intentional, that's on purpose, and it doesn't happen by happenstance or like if I have time. Which leads me to the next point. It should be regular. It should be planned, it should be scheduled, it should be not something you do, oh, if I have time this week, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. No, it is something that you put in your calendar. Just like you have to take a shower, just like you have to take a shit, you need to do your self-care. These are things that's really important. So it becomes more like a lifestyle. It becomes something that you do as part of your well-being and your emotional and mental health, if that makes sense. Step 4 or tip 4 is something that can be done in any season. So I have a lot of people that do self-care, but it's like contingent on something. For instance, the weather. Oh, I want to go for a walk every day for 30 minutes. Well, that's fantastic. But if you live in Alaska, and I had students and clients that lived in Alaska, you can't go walking every day for 30 minutes because you'll freeze to death, or it's very uncomfortable, or you hate the winter, or, oh, I was gonna do my walk, but it's raining. Well, I guess I can't do my self-care. It needs to be something that you can do no matter what is going on, no matter what the weather, no matter where you are. It needs to be something that's adaptable and something that you can actually incorporate into your daily life regardless of what the weather is doing outside, or regardless of what the season is. I've had students that have swimming as their self-care, and that's great in the summer. What do they do in the winter? Well, find a YMCA, or find somewhere where you can go swimming. It doesn't end just because the season ends. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to that and you're not setting yourself up for failure, if that makes sense. And then finally, you want to do something that only requires you to be the participant. And what do I mean by that? Think about going to the gym or working out. Well, a lot of people need a workout buddy or accountability buddy, somebody that's going to go with them, otherwise they won't go. That's not how self-care works. Self-care should be only dependent on you. So no matter what Susie, Tom, Dick, and Harry are doing, you know you have your thing that you're gonna do regardless of whatever else is going on. And it's only depending on you and what you have going on for yourself or your schedule. You don't have to depend on a best friend or accountability buddy to get your self-care done. So it should be a personal, internal process for you. And if you can have somebody else join, great, but their joining you should not be contingent on if you do it or not. And that's just an example for the gym. Maybe your self-care is writing. Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's exercising. Maybe it's eating healthier. Maybe I'll have one piece of fruit every day because that makes me feel better. Maybe I'll drink 4 glasses of water a day because I know that I'll get dehydrated and it'll decrease my headaches. Maybe I'll take a bubble bath once a week because that really helps to help my muscles and it helps to relax my mind. Maybe I'll have one day of no social media. I'll have one day of absolutely doing nothing where I just lounge on the couch and watch Netflix. Maybe I'll have an extra day where I take a nap or a day I sleep in. Whatever you can think of that helps to decrease stress, make you feel better, and it does not feel like a job. These are self-care things that we want to incorporate as counselors. These are self-care things we want to tell our clients to incorporate, students to incorporate, and just the general public, to be honest. I think if people incorporated more self-care and it was intentional and it was a lifestyle, we've have less stressed people. And people will be able to better cope with their issues. So I hope this makes sense. What is your self-care? Leave a comment and let me know. All right, thanks for watching.